Hey everyone, welcome to the Practical Gardener. So I was just watering some of my plants in the hanging baskets and I thought I'll do a quick video on the different string plants that I have here. Let's start from here. Okay, this one here is the string of bananas. So what I have also done is I have trimmed the plant today and I have put the cuttings back in to make the pot fuller, and that's a good method of making the pot look bushier and fuller. And this one also has a jade growing in, so I do double up multiple plants in a pot. So apart from this string, I also have this jade. So string of bananas is called the Curio radicans. It used to be called Senecio radicans. Just like there are a lot of these genus renames, so a lot of the Senecios have now been renamed as Curio. Okay, so you will see Curio radicans. Similarly, the string of pearls here, which was earlier called Senecio rolensis, now it is called Curio rolensis. Okay, so this is a beautiful round pearl and these in general, like the string of hearts, string of pearls, are also called rosary vines. They are also called string of beads, etc. What I have been doing with this plant is cutting the offshoots and putting them back into the pot to make them fuller and bushier. So that's a strategy that I use for most of these string plants. Otherwise, what will happen is the center of the pot tends to become bald and it will start growing only in one direction. Now, next to the string of pearls, I have the string of tears. So just to show you the difference between the two, if the pearls are fully round, tears are, they have this whole raindrop kind of a shape. So this is the string of tears, and this is also called the Curio harensis. Now this one here is a very interesting plant. This is called the string of dolphins. For Harry Potter fans, the scientific name is Senecio hippogriff. This one actually came from my friend. So I am keeping it safely for you, Aarti, when you want it back. If you look at the plant, it looks like dolphins just jumping into the water. Can you see that? So this is the string of dolphins, and this pot as well is very, very pretty. This one I have covered in the last video. This is our string of hearts. There are two different versions or variegations here. This one is called the Ceropegia woodii. A lot of other different names like lucky hearts, again rosary vine, chain of hearts, etc. Going up here, this is actually a Senecio, okay, not a Curio. This is the Senecio vitalis. This is called the narrow leaf Senecio. It also goes with the name blue chalksticks. Okay, blue chalkstick plant or the Senecio vitalis. Now this one here is again a very common hanging basket plant. This grows wild, right? It doesn't require too much water either, and especially in the monsoons, it really grows wild. In summer, it goes a little dormant, but if you give it enough water, it can grow well in summer as well. Okay, so this is actually not a Senecio or a Curio, etc. This is actually a Plectranthus. Full name is Plectranthus prostratus, and it's also called the pillow plant, or it's called the tangleheart, Swedish ivy, lot of different names here. This is by far the lushest growing plant I have. This one is called the ruby necklace, and it's got this beautiful pink colored stems with the green colored string of banana. Like it seems like a close cousin of the string of bananas, but can you believe they are not of the same genus as well? They are very different genus. So this one belongs to a genus called Othona. So this is called Othona capensis or the ruby necklace. It could be called string of rubies as well in colloquial language. So these are the different string plants that I have. Maybe I can show you again. Ruby necklace here, string of pearls, string of tears, string of dolphins. This is string of hearts. This is string of bananas. This is your blue chalk sticks. This is the pillow plant or tangled hearts. By the way, there's also a Distidia here, which is called the million hearts. Okay, and this is again a different genus. This is a Dischidia or a Distidia genus, and this is a blooming or a flowering plant as well. If you look at the string of pearls, etc., it blooms towards the end of the strings. Again, this one has been a continuous bloomer for me, the ruby necklace. The string of bananas does bloom as well. Okay, so in terms of care, needless to say, these are all plants that will do the best when they are hanging, okay, in hanging baskets. I would say the number one care tip for these is to hang them and keep them at a distance wherein you don't keep fiddling with them too often, because they are quite delicate. Their stems are very delicate in most instances, so they will just drop off or the stems will break. But what you need to do often is just turn the direction of the pot. So if you're hanging it in one direction, maybe in every 15 days or so, or when you're watering it, every time you water the plants, you can just change the direction of the pot so that the plant grows on all sides. Especially with hanging baskets, it looks only nice when the entire pot is bushy. The other tip I already shared with you earlier, when the plants or when the strings become too long, right? It's easy. As the strings are very, very sort of delicate and tender, you can just snap them off like this. Okay, and what I normally do is I go and put it in the center of the pot again, or if you want to repot it into a different pot and start a new propagation pot, that's fine too. So, but this is the best way to bush them. In terms of light requirements, while these can tolerate good amount of light, these plants will do well in bright light but indirect light. So don't put them into direct sunlight. Okay, in a north facing balcony that I have them right up there hanging open to the elements, and they are still doing pretty well. But I do change the direction of the pot quite often. I mean, every 15 days at least I keep changing direction so that they are growing across or in all directions. And I do keep trimming them and putting them back so that they don't have bald patches in the middle of the pot. Okay, so in terms of watering, they are succulents. So you do need to water them rarely, and given that their stems are so delicate, especially with the string of hearts, string of pearls, okay, dolphins, etc., these are more forgiving. Your like the ruby necklace as well as the bananas, or for that matter the pillow plant, they are very forgiving in terms of watering. So is the senecio. But these two plants in particular, pearls and hearts, are not very forgiving when it comes to overwatering. So don't overwater these plants. Only water them when you know for sure that the pot is completely dry. So let them dry between waterings, then only water them thoroughly. When you do water them very deep and thoroughly. Ensure that the root ball is completely wet and soaking in water, and then dry it completely before watering again. So this way you will ensure that the plant does grow, and it is also under a little bit of stress. Especially if you want to induce blooms, you do need to have this a very dry spell followed by a watering spell. So these are some of the tips that I wanted to cover. Easy plants, these are very common as well, and most of them are seen across all balconies or in terrace gardens. So do hang them, because that's the best way to display them, as well as that's the best way they are going to last as well. Okay, so in terms of fertilizing and pests, etc., they are pretty, I would say, maintenance free. Right? If you want, you can use, what I do normally is when I'm repotting, I do kind of give them a good dose of slow release fertilizer. when you feel that you want to top up, keep topping up with compost rather than any other soil mix. That way you're fertilizing the plant. And in terms of pests, mealybugs can be an issue for some of these, but if you are on a regular regimen of neem oil and detergent mix with water, I don't think even mealybugs should be a problem for you. Okay, so that's about it. Easy plants to grow and wonderful to have them, and most of these are quite cost effective. So very readily available in nurseries, as well as just ask for a small cutting from a friend and grow them in your balcony. So that's the best way to grow these as well. I have got a few comments from people asking me from which part of India I am. So I am based out of Bangalore. So all the care tips that I'm providing to you is generally kind of relevant for the south of India and especially Bangalore. Okay, so you have to work very hard for certain plants, but plants like these grow really well in the Bangalore kind of environment. Okay, so thanks so much. Bye everyone.